So today, what are we talking about? If you're thinking about going to Sturgis, South Dakota for the rally, the 81st rally, stay tuned and we're going to give you some tips and tell you some things that you better have ready to go for that event. And then we got something we want to tell you about that we want to invite you to. So stay tuned and let's get going.
Let's go.
So if you're thinking about going to the rally, it's getting really close. Typically, you should have already booked your reservation by January. That's usually kind of the cutoff time to find the best places. If you're looking at campgrounds, you always have a lot of the campgrounds out there, like the Buffalo Chip and the Full Throttle, Glencoe. A lot of those, if you're coming with a tent, they always have spots for you. There's also places downtown if you have a tent, things like that. If you're looking for a hotel, you're probably not going to find anything near Sturgis at all. The best bet I would recommend at this point is start looking around Rapid City. People say, well, that seems so far away. But what's in Rapid City?
The Harley Davidson dealership, Black Hills.
That's right. One of the biggest vendor spots that they have. In one place is there. So
it's
if you're
also closer to Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse if you want to do any riding, Needles Highway and all that.
in Custer State Park.
Yep.
See the bison. So just think about that. It's not always so far away. We know people that have gone all the way out to the Badlands and stayed at the KOA. Now that's quite a ride coming back and forth. So, there's some hints for you if you need some suggestions of places to try to find. If you're looking for something still at this point, contact us. Either leave us a comment down here or send us an email. You can go down here into the link, hit over here on the side, and you can drop down and it'll give you our email and a lot of other information for you to contact us, our Facebook page. You can ask on there too, and we'll do everything humanly possible to find you a good place to stay. Prices are good. When you're waiting this late, prices
you're going to pay.
Yeah, prices are getting a little high. Let's get to the next thing. If you're thinking about coming out to Sturgis, I hear a lot of guys that say, hey, I'm going to do it all in one day. I'm driving 1,000 miles. I'm driving 1,500 miles in a 24-hour period. What you got to think about? We did that once. We did 2,600 miles in 6 days. By the time we got to Sturgis, we were wore out.
Pooped out.
We were tired of just riding. We actually sat there on LaSalle and Junction there for 3 days in the grass, watching bikes right up and down the street. So, make sure you give yourselves ample time to get there. Because you don't want to be exhausted when you get there. And you also, when you're traveling, you got to think about one other thing. Weather. All kinds of things can happen depending on wherever you're coming from in the United States. You could get rain, you could get 100+ temperatures, you could get droughts, hail.
Snow.
Yep, snow. We've had snow coming home and never had to go in there. But so those are all things you have to think about and pack for. One of the things you can do is if you find a campground you're staying at, like we stayed one time, we stayed there twice now, at Kathmandu. Great campground. I guess they have tent camping there too, trailers and RVs. We haven't called them to check and see how much space they still had available. But what was nice about them is you could actually have stuff UPS sent to them. And they would be sitting there in the office, or if you had we rented one of the sheds, cabins, and it was sitting in there. And the nice thing was you boxed it all back up, and they sent it back for you. You paid for it both ways.
Right.
But it was nice that we could have blankets sent, and we had pillows and all the things that we needed.
All of our camping supplies, because we came on the bike. We rode our bikes out, so we had limited supply, but we needed all that stuff once we got there. So that's what we did. We shipped it out. So
that was really a good idea, and a lot of other campgrounds may have that option too. You may want to check with them and see if they'll do that for you, because that saves you a lot on packing. Then you're only bringing 2 jackets with you maybe, and your rain gear and whatever.
Just the essentials.
Yes.
To get there.
And you got to think about it is, most of these campgrounds do have laundromats, and if we're there for the whole week and a half, it's tough to pack all that on a motorcycle. You can bring a couple pairs, especially like in our case, it was 2 of us riding on the same bike the first couple years we went. So we had to share everything. We had stuff packed on top of the tour pack that we packed in there. We always wore our boots. That way it takes up the most amount of room, and then had our tennis shoes, or her case had flip-flops or whatever that she might walk around with. We packed those because they would take a lot less room up. We'll show you some videos later on about how to pack things up and how to put things in the bags and stuff to get as much as possible. There's a certain way you can roll those shirts up, and you can roll the pants up, and everything to where they'll be super, super tight and easy to get out. You just got to unroll them all to put them on. So there's another tip if you're thinking about traveling and packing and what you might need to want to bring. Same thing. thing. If you got any questions, you want to give it to us and ask us about our times that we've ridden our bike. Last 2 years, we've pulled the trailer now, and that's a whole nother issue with her health issues and us editing now. I can't be editing in a tent or in a cabin and not rely on good internet. We bring our internet with us. So that way you get the good information and get it as quickly as we can put it out for you. You know, some of the other things you got to think about when you go to Sturgis is, I see this a lot. People say you got to bring a lot of cash. Cash, cash, cash. That's what everybody wants to spend. That ain't true. You know, if you're down on Main Street, Junction, anything like that, and it's a vendor outside that's selling iced tea or pizza or whatever it might be, they pretty much like cash. But if you go into any of the bars, we've been on all the bars down there, they take debit cards,
right.
Credit cards. You have no problem with that. All the restaurants pretty much do the same thing. It's kind of like just like if you went to the fair or you go to a picnic or anything like that. You know, there's certain things that cash, but it is nice. If you've got, you know, if the beer's $5 or $3, it's a lot easier to whip down those dollars than it is to give them a card, and hopefully you'll remember to get it back. I have driven away.
Or their internet's not working.
Yeah, and I had that before where we left a bar and I forgot to go back and get my card and cash out. So those are some things. Now, if you're out at some of the campgrounds, like Full Throttle, the Buffalo Chip, things like that, then yes, you probably should have cash on most of the items. But most of the vendors today do have credit cards machines.
They have the little square on their
Yep.
phone.
Yep, and so they can do it. You know, Vance and Hines and Speeds Performance Plus, just talk to them. I know they've got credit card. That's how
Chubby
I pay
Cups,
for stuff.
I think
Yep.
Chubby Cups
Yep,
already got
Chubby
one.
Cups, and Rick Rack, they've got it. So there's a lot of places like that that you don't have to have cash. I always keep cash in my pocket because sometimes you can get a better deal with cash. I didn't tell you that, but because we don't want the IRS or the sales tax people or anybody else coming after us for any other reasons like that. But I mean, if you're also, another tip they have, if you're coming to Sturgis, depending on when you're coming, you know, the time that we recommend now is what we used to always do. We used to come the Thursday before the rally started, and we left the Thursday of the middle of the rally. You know, now the rally is being stretched out. You can actually come the full week before the rally, and 90% of the vendors are already set up and ready to go and do business. So if you want to get some work done on your bike and still want to do some riding, there's a good time to do. Come in, get your bike worked on. If you go to the dealer and you're having work done at, you know, at Rapid City there, or if you're having Speeds do it, or whoever you might have doing that work, it'll be a lot quicker because they're not so busy. And you know, you can go and go look at something and come back, or have lunch and come back, and your bike's all fixed and ready to go. And so that saves a lot of time too during the rally. Like we just left Myrtle Beach, and Speeds, for instance, by the time they didn't get there till Wednesday. Wednesday, and by Thursday night, they were pretty much booked the whole weekend.
For the rally, the rest of the rally.
So they could do like a dyno check, but they couldn't do any adjusting or change, you know, whatever you might need. So there's a lot of the vendors like that. If it's going to be a really busy rally, which we're going to give you a little hindsight here if you hang around all the way to the end. We've got some news about how big this rally could be this year. So, you know, those are some of the things you might want to think about when you're thinking about coming to Sturgis. And if you've been here before, you know, one of the things we found out by having a YouTube channel last year, we've been to Sturgis probably, I don't know, 6, 7 times, be 8 or 9 this year when we get there. We found out we do the same junk all the time. You know, we went to certain bars, we went to Full Throttle, we did this, we did the Deadwood, we did all the same stuff, and you did the same stuff, you ate at the same places all the time. Now that's what we did with our YouTube channel last year, is we found some really great places to eat, found some really neat bars, found some really neat things to do.
Great people.
So if you want to go back and watch that, we have about a 45 series, it was 45 can't talk today. 45 vlogs that we put out while we were in Sturgis on a little bit of everything. If you go back and watch that playlist and pick out different things, you can find some really great places to eat. Now we'll do some of those again this year, but probably not as much because we are going to be out at the Buffalo Chip. We're going to be spending a lot of time out there. We still got a lot of things. Topless Tuesday, we got special going to be going on there. We've also got a couple bars that we didn't know we could get in and film. We've been invited to go down there and check those out. So we got some really neat things we're going to be seeing. Some of the restaurants and stuff that we've ate at before, we will go back probably this year. And so we're going to leave you at that. She's going to talk to you, Tam's going to tell you a little bit about, we were going to do a charity ride for veterans. And it ended up, because there's another ride going on that's pretty much within a few days of it. On Saturday, I think they had a veteran ride coming up that we couldn't get it ironed out this year. So here's what she wants to do this year.
So we would like to do a ride with some of you guys. And we thought at the end of the ride, we'd do a collection, pass the plate, and any money that we collected, we would give to the veterans. So what we would do is we'd have a starting point, and we would do a ride, and we'd maybe end up like at the Pasta Corral. So, but we don't know how many of you would be interested in that. The day we would do it would be Thursday the 5th. That would be the Thursday before the rally starts. Rally starts on the 6th, Friday. So if you're interested, sincerely, email us, let us know so we can kind of get a heads up of how many people would come on the ride with us. And then we could maybe call the Pasta Corral. I thought we could do a ride out through Spearfish Canyon and come up the back way, go down Von Acker Road, go through Nemo, and go down Von Acker Road and end up at the Pasta Corral. And I think she said it would be, I think it's less than $15 for the meal. So then we could work out some of the payment for the food. It'd all be paid when we got there. We could go there, have a nice time, and maybe collect a little bit of money for the veterans and then give it to the local veterans organization there in town in Sturgis. So if you are interested in that, email us. Bob told you how down here to get to it. Email us, and he'll put the email address across the bottom. It's bobandtams@yahoo.com. And then let us know if you're going to be there, number one, and number two, if you are interested. And then we'll go from there. If there's enough people interested, we'll go ahead and start putting it together, lining stuff up, making some calls, getting some details worked out. And then once you email us and you're serious, then we will keep in contact with you through email about what's going on about the ride if you want to do it with us, August 5th, Thursday.
Okay, so that kind of tells you all about that. So if you got other suggestions you want to know or places you want to see, let us know down here. Let us know down in the comments. We're actually on our way to Nashville for the rally that's going to be down there at Loretta Lynn's. That's coming up starting on Thursday. So we'll be putting some videos out there real soon about that. And so that'll be kind of exciting. We got another video that's going to be coming up here real soon that we've had people ask about is, what do you think about the Florida rallies? You know, we did 3 down there. We did Daytona, Leesburg, and Panama City Beach. They're all different. So we're going to tell you the one that we liked and the pros, the cons, and everything about them.
The good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah. So that'll be another video that's going to be coming up here real soon. We've also got a veterans video company that we talked to.
Oh yeah, we gotta get that out.
That was really good. And we got a bunch of dealerships that we done videos on that they haven't come up yet, because with these rallies, it really keeps us busy putting out those videos every single day. So today we're just doing a layover. We're halfway to Nashville. So we just wanted to put this one out real quick because I know people are starting to think about Sturgis. And if you've never been there before, we're happy to give you any information that you have or need or want to know. Last year, after all the things we did and all the places we went, we didn't hit every single one, but probably about 90% of the stuff we've been to, seen what's going on, things like that. We're happy to give out free advice. We don't charge for any of this. Once again, watching YouTube is free. And so with that, we're going to leave you with this.
So, thanks for coming along today. We hope you got some great information. If there's anything you can share with us that would help others too, let us know and we'll get the word out to them too. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And this is the end of the Bob and Tam Show. All right, the important thing that we were going to tell you about Sturgis is we've gotten it from a couple of the very largest campgrounds. This could very well be larger than the 75th. So think about it.
Big. Huge.
See you tomorrow.
Here we go.